positions via phone due to CME rules. Welcome to another installment of the £10,000 trading series. I'm your host Ryan Key of quantumresearch.co.uk, and we are observing the vaccine news. You've got CCL on my personal trading account. I was long Carnival and I just got out. So honestly, I have no idea. It could continue. But that is enough for me. Interesting how they're testing a bit of res. Interesting there. Earnings are going to be poor in my opinion. That's in December. So whilst they're a distressed company, I still think they're going to run out of cash at some point. We haven't made a move on this account though, the 10k account yet. I think that's because we're actually trying to buy AO World at around 300. Maybe not today. Ideally, in about 1-2 weeks from now, that would be nice. We could get a trade in there now, but there's no clear one. It's definitely not oversold from a technical stance. I think what I'll do is I'll share our link on Twitter because we are live right now. I'll get the old YouTube link up as well. This is crazy. Crazy indeed. Make sure I don't put up Bloomberg there, because I'm not allowed to do that. That wouldn't be fair as well, because I'm not allowed to do that. Alright, where is Bloomberg gone? Be fair as well. He's telling me I gotta restart this. Let me get the mail out there too as well. Alright, where is Bloomberg gone? Fair as well. He's telling me I gotta restart. Alright, well, welcome to the people tuning in. I'm gonna share our link on Twitter real quick. I'm getting a notification on IG about AO World on my phone. That's going through my headphones. Still showing them as a short, but I had my order in at 390. I was about to press it, then it goes 385. I'm lowering it down to 385, 383. Then it's 350 before I even know it. And I'm about to press buy, but obviously you give yourself a couple of seconds to just understand. Am I making the right decision? When the price falls, I have to increase my size because my risk in that case was proportionate. So I needed to quickly calculate how many additional shares am I shorting, because now I'm shorting at a lower price. Obviously my reward is decreased, but still I'm willing, because I was seeing really around 340 or so. So getting 380, I still have 40 points in there. The risk reward, there was a lot more risk above 380 or so, but as we saw, that flush down meant that even if the risk reward is better when the shares are a little bit lower, you might not get that price because the spread has now widened. It's now about 5 points. Initially, we didn't have that kind of problem. So yes, those issues are a bit upsetting. But it is vaccine day nonetheless. What I'm going to do is get the chat pop up, because last time we had some people complaining about that. I'm sorry. Let's see if the chat works through our setting. I don't know if we're going to trade anything on the 10k account today, but we have 4 hours or so left of the UK market, and there's also the US session. I've got to head off in 2.5 hours, so we will make the most of what we have around us. It is vaccine day, which means things are a little bit crazy. We've all been waiting for this day, I'll tell you that. We've all been waiting for the beloved vaccine day. Trading vaccine day. Let's get this tweet down. Vaccine day. Live on YouTube. Me. I'm trading a vaccine day. I should so have that as like an American holiday, just like Thanksgiving. Vaccine day. Couple of interesting ones. Alibaba holding below 300. We should probably pull the chart up for those guys. Baba NYSE. They are struggling to stay above that 3 or 4 point. People think that because Biden is in charge, China is a great opportunity to go long. Well, yeah, China's done all right. The only problem is the US has outperformed China. In the Biden administration from 2009 to, I think, Biden and Obama. Obviously, Biden was the vice president, Obama was the president. For those who aren't familiar with that, and you had Chinese equities doing all right. They weren't performing negatively by any means. But US equities, on the whole, including the rubbish that you pile in there, were outperforming the Chinese stocks. So going long China, essentially, and going short US seems to be quite a stupid idea. Or at least based off historical standards. But remember, past performance is not obviously what happens in the future. It's interesting to watch what's happening with AO though. This spread is just disgusting. 5 points. I think even if I got that short, I'd have probably been able to close around here, even though it did 340. The ask was 364. I mean, what is that? That is fraud. But it's an algorithm. I don't think this is AIM listed, I believe. I couldn't be making that mistake. If it is, I need to rethink all of my plans. Oh no, I checked on the Bloomberg terminal, so it can't be, but I'll double check. Yeah, let's see. What exactly is the order book based on? Let us see. It is just as regular trading. That's not what I'm looking for. Main market. No, that's fine then. Yeah, they only listed about 5 years ago. Whoa, EasyJet shares 675. This is why earlier I wasn't shorting. Don't make that mistake. I was long CCL, for those who asked, on my own account. I didn't realize, actually, because it would have been the similar kind of risk based off the day's volatility. So I was long on that. And I wanted to get long on this one too, but by the time I was, it was too late. So we haven't, well, by the time I was logged onto here, we are still at the same account we started with. £10,000, £10,007 and 25 pence. But this is going to create a lot of opportunities. So in the next 2.5 hours, if we see anything, we'll hop in and out and see what we can do. We just started streaming about 5 minutes ago. I really wish I caught all this action, but I was trying to multitask with the class as well. 359. Yeah, I'm not looking to trade AO today, but I really do want it a little bit lower. If the markets continue rising, this is a nice darling that we can get. Okado style kind of riser, but a little bit more volatile on all fronts. See, when Okado rises 10%, this is the kind of one that does 30, 40 kind of thing. Okay, smooth. Vaccine live trading. It's weird, the two recent live streams we had, US election, vaccine. I'm not trying to get these streams to be event based, but it seems that there's a lot happening at the moment. Welcome to everybody tuning in on YouTube. Yes, this is the £10,000 trading account. And we're seeing some crazy movers. National Express, 20% up. These guys, I know there's res around 210. So that's probably where they're going next before the major move. Either way. FTSE 100 up about 5% for the day. That does definitely surprise you when you realize on the week it's up roughly 700 points. That's 15%, 15 or so percent. It was 5,500 a contract before. So this is crazy. I guess this is vaccine day. Well, I hope people have made money on this crazy trading situation. But be careful. Don't short because something's crashed or go long because it's exploded all of a sudden. Because reversals happen easily in these scenarios as well. See what Twitter's about. Nice to see some people making money. Rolls Royce is doing crazy. Zoom is down 15%. Is that pre-market? Whoa. I mean, it's interesting. Even though Zoom would be down 15% pre-market, where is it? What? 420. That's crazy. And I was considering a short the other day. Doesn't matter. But it's just interesting to see where these guys are going to go next. Zoom, in terms of their comparison versus Google Meet, I posted something the other day. I think Google Meet is going to be the next major competitor. They are now 20% in terms of monthly average users, or is it daily average users? One of them. Daily average users. I posted this the other day. I thought that Google Meet is slowly catching up. In fact, in terms of the market share gain from the daily average users at the peak of coronavirus, or should we say the first lockdown, March 22nd, 2020, Zoom's total share of the daily average users has actually has actually decreased. Google Meet has increased, and that's why I think Google Meet, even Microsoft Teams, is starting to get a little bit larger. But the thing is, the market has grown, so it doesn't mean that Zoom's getting smaller. It just means Zoom's getting larger, but Google Meet and Microsoft Teams are increasing at a pace that is faster than Zoom, which means Zoom's market cap being what? Double. I think they've doubled in this period where they've kind of stagnated in terms of their users. Apparently, the shares have doubled, yeah. Their users haven't really made a difference. So for me, I'm trying to understand why they're not worth $250. Yes, you could use the argument of, now that they've got these users and they've sustained them, that means that their shares are going to do much better. Why? Because they have users that are consistently giving them income. And most brokers value companies based off discounted cash flow. So if you have more cash flows, you can then give a higher forecast for the shares. Well, that's interesting. I just don't think that explains a 70 billion addition to the market cap. So I'm having a struggle understanding these guys' valuation. But if they're opening that 420, you reckon they're going to retry that 440, 460 area before coming down if they are to. So it's not an easy trade now that the events happen. Pre-event, decent risk reward. Right now, after the event, it's probably better to be long if you're trading. But I'm not too keen on that. I'd like it around 460 for a short, but that would have been opening 460, not opening 420. What are you going to do? Short it down to 360 with the same kind of risk? That bit's ridiculous. But today we are observing a crazy one-off event in the market where we actually have apparently a vaccine. I mean, I don't know. I've heard this news so much to really be a fan of this, but it's good that a lot of people are making money today. Shorters are losing a lot though. Imagine being long EasyJet right now. Speaking of which, we're going to add those guys to our watch list because they're another one that could run out of capital very, very soon. I need to actually fix my watch list on this account because on my other account, they are very, very organized. On here, I just have an April one, and then I have the one for like a couple of weeks ago. I don't even know why I'm looking at Ted Baker either. I think financially wise, there's not much wrong with them. Model wise, I think the business is worthless. So I'm just waiting until things get ugly. There's free money in there. Or if things improve, maybe just try and find the issue as to why they aren't really improving. Alibaba 299 spot 95. Not interesting. Carnival Group, you always tend to see them spike above, don't you? So not interested there. Wow, EasyJet spiked more than I expected. I wonder, is anybody looking at interesting companies at the current moment? Anything we can have a look at? I'm gonna reload the Bloomberg terminal on my other screen, bba.bloomberg.net, and quickly sort that out and just look through some of my ideas now. And if I can't find anything worth trading, I'll scan for some new stuff on a separate platform and then just see. Oh, why is my login not working? Okay, there it is. Well, Alibaba 304 and above would be a nice long, and that's a long-term hold long. All right, there's our situation. I think Alibaba's worth 400. Being completely honest, this time next year, if it's not 400, I'd be surprised. Am I buying yet? No. Reason why is I'm just not convinced. I think Biden winning makes it difficult for me to get any lower for an entrance. Yeah, unless there's another wave down in the markets happening, 237. In reality, it's probably going straight up to 400. So do I just give in and buy for 30% with a risk of probably 15%? There's probably better ways to put my money to use in the market right now. But I shall consider it. Consider it soon. EasyJet as 664. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm not interested in CCL anymore. The problem is trying to short these companies. EasyJet, for example. Whoa, what are all these lines? Must have had some day trades and I extended the lines too much. Yeah, so they're all testing those important points of res. Problem with these companies is a vaccine does them well, but they're still bleeding cash. So in the short term, the shares are doing better. Yes, they could try and raise, but in the long term, they're absolutely done for. So I'm worried in that regard. Rolls-Royce up 43%. What? Are you guys crazy? No way. I didn't see that. 43%. Wow. I got a message earlier. Somebody said Rolls-Royce shares were up something like 20%. And I thought, nah, that can't happen. Are you mad? Are you crazy? Balaskas. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you, man. How are you doing? Because things are crazy right now in this market. Wow. Rolls-Royce shares are up like that. Are you mad? Wow. 40. It makes sense, though. Yeah, the chart really just wants them higher. 43%, though. How does they were the biggest hit by the COVID crisis, but I feel that wasn't just the whole COVID situation. We could investigate this one here. It's quite bullish, actually. I think there's one more day left of rises if this is a vaccine. 113 on these guys, but the problem is these guys going there means most of the other individuals in the sector are gonna then spike above important points of res, 200-day moving average, etc. Which means you're gonna have a full-fledged breakout generally across most industries if they can hold. But then if you have an intraday reversal, boom, it doesn't happen to be the situation. Let me check what's going on here. Okay, I put the wrong Bloomberg code in. There we go. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna post. We're live on this too. Let's catch that. We're live on YouTube. Live on YouTube. Trading the vaccine. Let me get that link real quick. Rolls-Royce not feeling a short right now. Nope. And if anything, I wouldn't short at 114. I'd short on the way down. Easier. Little risk. Problem is I want AO World at 300. I really want them there. Is that too much to ask? They should so raise though, man. They might just kill the momentum off like that. I'll be willing to put, let me think. If I can get, because this is going to be for the 10k account. So I'm going to have to base it off the 10k account. Amounts. One sec. Just share the link. if I buy AOL, risk relation. Hold on, let me run it on the other screen. Spreadsheet saves time. Oh my. Done the Bloomberg with the wrong thing. Let me launch it. There we go. Okay. So, gonna touch that. Oh, bit of a headache from this morning, I'll tell you that. Where's one of those Huel milkshakes when you need them? Rolls Royce shares up 42% in a day. That's great. What is their market cap? Oh, I'll be back in a sec. I'm just gonna be back shortly. I'm doing, or attending rather, to the maintenance guy. I just realized they were supposed to come today, so that should be about half an hour or an hour. What I'll do is I'll leave the stream on, but I'll BRB 1:45 just to be safe. But things are going crazy. I'm just observing from my phone on the other monitor. But I'll catch you all shortly.
Clearly worse for both of us. So that is bad news for firms that want to cooperate
Okay, I've returned. I have returned. Hello. Boom. Let me just close that door real quick. Oh, do you see that? Well, we have returned. We have returned. How has everyone been? How has the market been? I've been trying to keep up to date. Rolls-Royce, AO. This one hurts because I had an order in for 913 shares at 390 when it's 392. Then it went 383 and I put it down to 380. I wasn't good enough in terms of the timing. Very, very unfortunate. But it is what it is. I've heard about the vaccine. Apparently, it still might take a couple months to roll out. So really it isn't a vaccine now. It's a vaccine early 2021 by the looks. But the market seems to be finding it alright. I want AO shares a little bit lower. I'll be honest with you. They could tinker around 240s highs, 260s lows. But I want them there. I do want them there. And I'd be willing to put a nice amount of money up. In fact, let me update myself with the chat and see how everyone is. Also, thank you to Adan1932 for following. I know you're in chat, so I apologize for us being off sound whilst you're here. But we're back now. Nevertheless, I'm going to share the link on Twitter real quick. We're back live on YouTube. Back live. Back. We're back on YouTube. Live on YouTube. There we go. Boom. Click the link to watch. Alright, so maintenance guy came and said that I had a leak in the bathroom. So the reason why this place stinks isn't because I've used so much Febreze and all this fabric softener and everything. Turns out the leak has extended all across my floor. So I'm really, really irritated by that because I think this could have made me sick. It's been 2 months and it's slowly been leaking into the floor. See how the audio is looking. Slowly been leaking. Okay, well, we are back live on YouTube. Rolls-Royce is the focus stock for this session, and Alibaba is the focus investment idea. And Alibaba and AO World. Alibaba likelihood isn't so high. AO World, well, I'd like 300, but realistically I'd even go lower. Ocado down 12%. This is the definition of anti-beta. There's two main stocks right now in the market that are anti-betas. Ocado and AO World. Ocado right now, in my opinion, is still relatively expensive. Why do you see that AO World, a company that is up how many times? Up 10 times since the lows of Corona. Yeah, 10 times or so. Why is AO World cheap relative to Ocado? Means Ocado is expensive. And I think Ocado is probably going to retest, this £19 area. Realistically, £20. Would I short? Nah, too much risk. At the moment, I'd short on a retest, but I don't believe this vaccine is the final one. Once it's rolled out, I'll believe it. And yes, if that means paying 20-30% more on a couple of stocks, then yeah, that's fine. National Express, for example, right now 204. I'd short them around 214 actually. Have they already done that whilst I was away? Let's see. Whoa, there's too many stocks right now. I'm not shorting them on a touch of 214, but that's kind of a reference point for how I'm going to play it out. If you guys were here earlier whilst I was away, I was looking at a couple of reports for AO World, just trying to see if things look okay. Cash is the only issue there, but in their position, you can raise cash at a 10% discount, and you can raise 19% of your equity, which at the moment, Hold up, let me pull up Bloomberg real quick just to get the exact market cap. AO World's market cap right now at 338 is 1.6 billion, so roughly 19%. So let's just say 20%, 320 million. Take away fees, you can raise 300 million if you really wanted to. And this price at a 10% discount, you take a 10% discount of both numbers, 270 million. Still, even 200 million is a decent amount to raise. The most I've seen them ever raise is 50 million. So if they raise 200 million, they can do an Okudo style situation where Okudo raised, I think, 800 million or something like that. And it created many billions worth of value for them in terms of their share price. We see that the FTSE's up 5.6%. Carnival Group is 34% up for the day. EasyJet, all these kind of companies. Rolls-Royce is one that was battered more than these travel companies on COVID. Not actually sure why, but their shares have reversed as a result. They are one that I would reckon is quite likely to be an anomaly. Them rising on this just doesn't make too much sense to me. Could they do 122 or so? I wouldn't be surprised. What I'd expect is them going a little bit above an important point of res, reversing. That's generally what you see in these kind of market scenarios. Hence why Rolls-Royce tried to break below 100, failed, and it's going to continue. Would I go long with this kind of situation? My risk is easily 30%. My reward is only 10%. The likelihood of the 10% working out is much higher, but I don't think it's worth me being involved. Hence why, even though I think Rolls-Royce still could go a little bit higher, I'm not long. Same with National Express, 10 points. I do regret not going long at 165, but by the time I was trying to get 170 earlier, I ended up getting 180 as a quote, so I didn't take the order. That would have been a good situation to follow through with, but once again, it is what it is. Let's see how the chat's going on. How is everybody right now? How is your day going? You guys doing okay in this crazy, crazy market? I assume most people are, if you're net long. If you're net short, well, may maybe be alright. All them things. Alibaba at 303, still struggling on that 304, but I wouldn't doubt it on breaking that. AO World at 334. The fact that they're down about 15% today is interesting. You've had a turn on the MACD in terms of technicals. I won't really bring that up as an important point beyond the fact that things that were once bullish have now turned bearish. That's all I could really say. But the primary trend is still intact. Simple little trend line could help that. Ooh, let's get something looking nice. Nice and fancy. Let's extend one. We'll get an extended. We'll just connect. There. Ooh, where's that one where we had these lows? Alright. So, yeah, really. This kind of extension. Did I connect the right lows here? It's always important to get the right lows. There you go. There you go. And then we'll smoothen. Which makes a decent amount of sense. Trend is relatively intact. Even below 240 or so as time goes on. That obviously gets higher. We are expecting these shares to be around 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds and above. So I think things are good. The reason is, this is the kind of share that rises on revenue beats and earnings misses. They had 4 out of 5 of their past reports being revenue beats. Sorry, no, I'm gonna actually double check that and not quote myself incorrectly. It was on the earnings estimate section. There was 4 of the past 5. No. Let me get it right. Of earnings of the past 7, they beat 4 out of 7 times. On the net income side, they missed 5 out of 7. Yet, why have we had this impressive set of rallies? Well, earnings weren't good. When's the next earnings? It isn't going to show up here, but I'll put it up on Bloomberg. Let's see Company events probably the best side. Next one. Q2 sales and revenue figures, 15th of October. That's already been done. 24th of November. One call. Not sure what that's about. Let's have a look. 2021 earnings call on the 24th of November. Not sure what that is, but I assume it's around here. Interesting. Well, that's one stock we were looking at. AO World spread right now 3 points. Very ideal. It's a shame we didn't get to short that earlier. It would have been amazing. 383 even on the lower end would have been, in terms of pounds, about £400 for the portfolio based on our risk strat. Well, who cares? Who cares? We are chilling. We're chilling. It's about catching the right side of this. Pets at Home's completely done a U-turn on its earlier trading activity. Well, that's one we should probably pull up on the charts too. Switch out Baba. Pets. They've been doing okay off this crisis. Nothing too ugly there. Zoom. US market opens in 30 minutes. Zoom pre-market 430. Still way too low for us to consider shorting. That's fairly priced. If you believe in the efficient market hypothesis, I'll let you take this one. National Express Group at 205. I don't like that 1.5 penny spread on this one. Alright. Well, the cleaner's coming in about an hour. So we might have to cut the stream off then. So got a Zoom call meeting in a bit. Wow, IAG, someone did 40%. Mad. Very impressive. Huh. Nice to see everybody having a nice day today. The problem is this... Nova CYT's been whacked. Well, let's see. NCYT. If there is a vaccine, they're going to be in half, right? Whoa! They are in half. Wow. Wow. Ouch. Minus 50% the day before. That isn't pretty. That isn't pretty at all. Whew. The thing is, shorting these guys, whilst they were in an uptrend, a clear uptrend, wasn't a great idea. But now that there's been a vaccine rumor, apparently this is it by the looks of that price action. There's no way they're going back up. That isn't fancy. AO World at 340. Yeah, there's something about these guys that I want to be involved with. I like those £9 options as well. Maybe that's just me being a little greedy here. Let me check the chat, see how everyone is. Yo, Adan1932 said, do you do crypto as well? We do anything, but our main focus is on equities. What about yourself? Are you a crypto trader, judging by the looks of that question? Wowza. NYC. Wait, where's Avacta then? Avacta. Man, just give me that. AVCT. Whoa. That is not pretty. Whew. Talk about the opposite of coming out of a recession. 166 to 100. That isn't pretty. That isn't pretty at all. Yeesh. So what, is it actually a vaccine then? Let me check the terminal. Here's what's coming up on Bloomberg. That is some vaccine. But it'll take 2-3 months to roll out. Which means the reaction is surely a little bit premature in the markets right now. Wowza. NCYT down 50%. That is crazy. AIM can just mark these things down properly. Wow. Someone DM'd me and said you gotta buy NCYT shares. Is it NCYT, NYCT? NCYT, that's it. And I wasn't really interested personally, but I couldn't get myself to short. And I still probably, looking back at it, I'll be honest, I wouldn't have shorted, because until there was a vaccine, this could have, doubled, even tripled. It doesn't matter about the market cap at that point. Once you're the market leader in a new industry, you can get extremely overbought. So this was bound to happen, but not happening now. So I'm not going to take credit for any of this stuff. I didn't put my money where my mouth is. But if you made money off this, whether on the long side, the way up, or the short side, way down, congratulations. I was not involved on the other hand. AO World at 343. Happy with Carnival today though. Shame I didn't get it for the trading portfolio with the same balance here as we were the day before. But on my personal PF, I managed to get that. Just not really sure of any clear setups. Rolls Royce, I'd kind of like in a couple of days. I think we're going to have an intense session tomorrow or the day after. Bad timing, but it is what it is. Whoa, NEX 208. They're loss making, so I'm very surprised. But I didn't short them because after this 1 month lockdown, they are main ALSA routes and they're UK based, which is really small volume. But ALSA is the majority of their volume. So Europe, those sales weren't actually going to drop. So really, them being priced at 160 or so wouldn't change. Fundamentally, the company's position didn't change. So why would the shares go from 160 to 100 again? Not really likely. But it's likely for them to consolidate a little bit, and that generally is positive for them. So whilst I wasn't comfortable going long yet, I didn't go short, which meant I didn't lose 20-30%. So that's nice. What are we seeing? What else is everybody looking at? We're on YouTube streaming as well as TradingView 2. We were on shortly, about an hour ago or something, but because I got this little stench here from a leak in the bathroom's right out back there. We've had to get the plumbing fellas in, the repairman. He came in, he said he's fixed the leak, but the cleaner's got to come in and do the whole floor, because that's been a slow leak for like 2 months from the bathroom to where I sleep, and sometimes like to eat my food whilst I look at charts. So yeah, I need to get that clean. I have all my windows open. I was actually wearing a mask indoors to keep myself comfortable. It's very unhealthy. The stench is mad. Even Febreze and fabric softener didn't work, and the carpet cleaner stuff, so I've got to get it deep cleaned. Let's have a good trading day so we can not worry about that expense, eh? On the personal PF, we've done alright, but on this 10k PF, we want to catch some content for you lot. I should have recorded that at the very minimum, but I didn't. So yeah, Rolls Royce at 102 roughly on the ask. Tight spread. 0.25 either way. Roughly constant. Let's have a look at the overall market real quick. Option pricing might be an interesting one to look at for puts on not the daily. Let's say June 21 puts 5,200 strike at 123. So that's 10 payoff for 1,000 point. Not too favorably priced. What about calls at say 6,400, 220? That varied. That isn't pretty at all. Yeah. What about 7,000, 50 points, 850, 50 premium, just to make that much more? You'd be better off using CFDs at this rate. Well, hedging is never cheap coming into a crisis or during that kind of main point. Hedging is only really cheap when you have a huge persistent bull market, or if you're hedging to the long side, so you're buying calls of a FTSE 100 or whatever index, or just an index that generally rises with the overall stock market, right? So that is representative of the UK. In the US, you've got S&P 500, you've got the Russell 2000, those kind of things. You would buy calls if you're not that confident about getting into a long with a CFD. In some places you can't even use a CFD. In some states in the US, apparently most. That's why they use options anyways. But if you don't want to buy a contract, instead you'll buy if it breaks above a certain price, and then you'll have the right to buy and actually convert that option if that price occurs. And if that rise doesn't occur, then your option expires worthless. Say if you pay 50 points of a premium to make potentially 800 points. If the move happens, then the price moves 800 points further, then you're paying 50 points for 750 points of profit. And if 50 points is, say, £100 to pay for that times the 50 points, what was that, 5,000, then your 750 points is a lot more. And if your overall portfolio is, say, short, that is your hedge on the other side. Normally you'd hedge with puts in a bull market. You'd buy puts, or do the opposite on the other side. But generally, you can do hedging on either side. If you're net short, you'll hedge with longs, generally puts on an index. It's not the most efficient way, but I think we'll not talk about this on the stream. I'll probably make a separate video one day or a podcast about it. I've got a lot of research on that actually, but I think it would confuse peeps that haven't come across options before at all. Ooh, I almost accidentally placed a trade on something I didn't want to place a trade on. Let me check the chat real quick. Check out SNDL. You have a new follower. You have an awesome style, says Adam1932. Adam, you're awesome. Thank you. I'm grateful for the kind words. We are actually only new to streaming. This is our second proper stream. We're on TradingView as well as YouTube too. I'll post the YouTube link. A couple of people are watching us on YouTube as well, and then we've got the rest on TradingView. I have a Bloomberg terminal on my other screen, so whilst I can't share the screen, I can interpret information and hopefully make this a more informative stream. This is real trading. £10,000 has been put into an account. Whilst I trade my own account also separately from time to time because I can't document everything, I want this to be a separate kind of portfolio where we can document over the next 2 or 3 years whilst I'm in the city of London, and it will be a nice kind of thing. We'll make a little trading log, kind of go from there. So we haven't actually placed a trade on this account yet. We got the bond side, not generally a place I tend to look at. But we streamed the election where we said we're not going to trade because of we didn't have clarity. Now we're waiting until you see that kind of pivot point, then we aggressively place the trade on the opposite side of where the price action is. And we could just lose a little bit or make a big amount of money. And you guys can catch this. You guys can watch me make or lose money. If I blow up £10,000 of my own hard-earned cash. You think for an 18-year-old to have that much cash in an account and then lose it, that's going to hurt, right? So think about it. It took a lot, a lot of mental blood, sweat, and tears. So this, I'm not prepared to lose this, I'm telling you. But if I do, it's content, right? So you guys will catch this. But we are conducting our trades with integrity, because one day we might be managing your pension portfolios, who knows? But anyways, let's see what's going on. On the commodity side, you got oil up 10% with crude. That's WTI crude. Brent, a little bit more expensive because it's thicker. Obviously has more value in terms of its use. That is up roughly 9%. What is lagging? Gold, silver. Ooh, interesting. Gold, silver. Below 1900. I still have a long-term view of gold around 2100. Silver that has had a mad move. It's only fair it cools down. Let's look at the soft commodities nearby. Any anomalies? Not much for me. Copper hasn't had that much of a response. That to me is odd. Same with iron ore. Okay. Not really a fan of crypto in terms of its overall impact on the market, but it's interesting to see crypto is relatively flat for the day, despite the market moving up a lot. But is it down from that vaccine point? Yeah, only like 5%. There's not a strong enough correlation, even just with 1 day of data. Imagine looking at the whole day. But still, crypto will probably increase. Reason why is because these third world countries that are running out of their own currency, they don't want to be in their currency. They can't buy gold now because gold is marked up in black market rates. Iran, for example, a pound used to be 50,000 rials, right? And the government would change that. Now, a pound in the black market can get you 330,000 rials. And gold is priced in the black market rate. So it's priced 6 times above fair value, generally. At least 6 times. So if you're buying gold in Iran, for example, Iran and other countries that are having inflation, Venezuela, for example, they have their own black market as well, which is just fairly dysfunctional. If you're buying gold, you're probably paying more than what it's actually worth. And not that little spread between a broker that buys gold and sells gold. No, you're paying probably 100, maybe even 200% more. So by buying gold now in those kind of countries, your money's going to get stuck. And when the correction occurs, unless there's huge hyperinflation and you make a little bit on your money, but you're actually getting scammed on probably 2/3 of it, then you're not going to do so well. So the way to avoid that at the moment is to buy US Tether. People buy US Tether, which is a cryptocurrency in itself. Then you transfer that cryptocurrency. By the way, US Tether is literally tracking a dollar. So 1 US Tether is generally, $1. Normally the dollar's a little bit more expensive. That's because of spreads, 2-3% or something like that. So you buy that US Tether, and then that US Tether, you buy it with, say, Iranian reals or Venezuelan bolivars or whatever. And then that is changed from US Tether to either Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, whatever cryptocurrency you want, even the crap coins that are around. And then you have exposure to the dollar. So if your currency loses 200-300% value relative to others, say 1 pound was, 330,000 rials right now in Iran, that could be 600,000 rials, right? You actually double your nominal value in the money. So regardless of inflation, your net worth isn't decreasing in real terms. So whilst everybody else is getting poorer, you're getting wealthier because you have, it's almost like a treasury bill kind of situation. But in these countries, you don't generally have a way to have exposure to the benefiting from your currency getting weaker. So this is what people are doing right now. And I assume a lot of funds are getting stuck up in things like Bitcoin, especially when there's not really many people selling out. So I would assume as more conflict occurs, you would likely see this kind of thing happening across the globe. So Iran is one example, Venezuela. Are there any other economies struggling? If anyone has any other names, we could add those to the list as well. There's always a bit of war, that kind of thing. The only way to get out is the one that can't be exploited. And crypto markets generally can't be exploited in that regard. Little coins can, but not things like Bitcoin, where there's not like a manager of it. It wasn't ICO'd or whatever, as they say, initial coin offerings and everything. So that's my perspective. Would I short Bitcoin? No. Would I go long Bitcoin? Potentially. Would I go long Bitcoin now? No. Would I go long Bitcoin on some crazy 50% retracement once the market is all of a sudden trending up? Potentially. That is what I would like. But it's not something I would sleep well at night thinking I'm in, because there's way too much volatility. There's not too much risk management. Amutaleo2 says UK soon. Depends how all these Brexit negotiations go, eh? Our pound's actually alright right now. I mean, should we pull up FX? This is my least favorite section my broker, but pound against the dollar 1.3 or 186 or so. What was that? 1.27 was the last time I properly looked at these guys. Foreign exchange is really important for valuing companies in terms of their revenues, discounted cash flows, all that stuff. But beyond that, I don't really use them much. Yeah, 1.27. Wait, what's that? 2000? That's not 2008. That's 23rd September 2020. Wouldn't have made sense. Yeah, that was when I last checked. So, obviously, dollar getting weaker means pounds gone stronger, generally. Not always, but that was what happened recently. AO's been clawing back a couple of those gains. I'm gonna have a glass of water whilst we're here. I think I have a glass of water there. Oh my. Hold up. I think I washed this. No. I put that there so I don't wash. My glasses are in the wash. One sec. I'll be back in a second. See, I can. Can't wait till the cleaner comes. This smell is not great around here. Went back to visit the family and then boom. A stench of 1,000 poisons. Alright. So welcome back to the stream. We are trading vaccine day. We don't have any positions currently on our 10k trading portfolio, but we're still looking. Generally, my process is to build off my existing positions on my own account and then see what warrants, ads, purchases, and all sorts, and also trades. We're open to that too. FTSE's up a fair bit. Normally I don't trade these high vol days. I trade the establishment of the trend. So yes, if tomorrow's a little bit of a drop, but we're in an uptrend, I could be comfortable going long. And on the contrary, if tomorrow is a huge rising situation, then it runs out steam, we switch negative, then I'm also comfortable switching starts with a comfortable situation there. Let's check the chat. How is everyone doing? How is everyone today? Amutali, shout out to you. Shout out to Adan 1932. Shout out to Balas Kask. All of you guys, how you doing? How are you all on this fine cold day in the UK? I don't know what the weather's like where you guys are at, but I hope you're feeling good. Forget the weather. Get a blanket if you're cold. If you're hot, put a little fan on. Things will be okay. Speaking of which, I might grab a snack from the old mini fridge. What do we got? I think I finished that Huel the other day. They've got these things called complete meals. Huels. Huel. Very, very fancy. Imagine, you pay £3, you got dinner in there. Speaking of which, I need to think about making lunch. What do you make? What's the classic? Noodles, pasta. Why am I even worried? Pasta. That's it. Ooh, we've got a notification. McDonald's earnings. EPS 2.2, 1.91. I like McDonald's, actually. I'm going to switch out NCYTs. Whoa, look at that volatility. 560 to 680 from literally that. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but that's the last trade. So we have MCD. That's McDonald's Corp. I feel like they're way too overvalued, though. What's been happening here? Pre-market should be up. Yeah, 224. Okay. Establishment of trend. This is a very choppy one. There's a point where you just get so big that can you grow any more? Thanos clicks his fingers and not only do you half, but you quarter because the fall was so bad. Let's see what's going on with the key price. The KPIs, I forgot what that stands for. Key price. Forget that. Anyways, UK revenue for these guys was up. I heard they're expecting to do a 70% increase in the UK, which means there's a difference between this report. Am I right? UK year-on-year growth. This was August 2020. This was 54% increase year-on-year. Group revenue was 750 million. No way. What date is this? 15th of October. Total revenue 900. Commission revs are up big time. All from the UK. What are they trying to make a Herbalife? AO. AO protein shakes. Good, bro. Are you in for day trading? Yes, I am. I'm in for day trading. I've been sentenced to 7 years and 3 months in this game. What are you in for? Just felt like that was a nice prison reference. Been watching Prison Break. But Amatale, whereabouts are you based, my friend? And what's your main asset that you like to dabble in? I'm based in London. Don't know if you can tell by the accent, but I'm based in London. I happen to be British, and we're chilling. Trying to find some ops, or at least plan them. Normally these sessions are to plan, because these are quite longer sessions. And then when we come back at really random times to catch the trades, because you can't just stream every morning at, say, 8 a.m. I could do, but it would be generally quite boring, and I don't prefer trading useless sessions. I'm always up at, but even before 7. Sometimes I'm up at 5:30 to catch the market. Value versus growth or the outlier move. Nice tweet. Gaps will trigger so many margin calls. Yeah. Imagine. Dare I use the words irrational pessimism. Nova CYT. Rolls Royce 44% up. Market cap over £8 billion. Wow. That's crazy. That's mad. Ronnie Chopra. Shout out to Ronnie Chopra. At Ronnie Chopra 1 on Twitter. Real cool guy. Market cap of $8 billion, man. I know, I saw that earlier. It shocks me. It makes me think, where am I shorting these guys at? We've done really well with Rolls Royce. It's a very dangerous one, though. Oh, that isn't nice. It's a one-off event. Can't get spooked. Pearson's up 9%. And we were about to short that one. But the reason why we didn't is when the market looks to have an overwhelmingly positive spike upwards, what do? Do you short? Nah, you go long. Or if you're not comfortable going long, do nothing. Watch. A lot of people have made money about here. Shout out to Joe Biden winning the election. I heard his wife and his son had passed away. That's a lot to go through. So to be president of the United States and to have lived through all that, I guess you can empathize a lot with peeps. And whether you hate him or you love him, he's been through a lot and he's tried consistently, and eventually things have worked out in his favor. You gotta respect that, you know what I mean? He tried. Whoa, why is... Let me get up my live trades, because this is confusing me. Why is 105, 104, 105? What I was saying about Biden, he tried to be president in 1988, didn't work out. 2008, didn't work out. He ended up being vice pres to Biden, to Obama. Biden was vice pres. And now, he's president of the United States. Wow. Interesting success story. I don't know anything about, his policies or his personal life beyond what I just read. But we're humans at the end of the day. For you guys who also trade and are watching this stream, things do get dark at times. Whether you make money or you lose money, that doesn't necessarily correlate with your happiness. Generally, I could say it from personal experience, I'm not really happy or sad whether I'm up in a trade. I generally care more about the process, and I don't mean that in a way of it's all about the process, don't, no emotion or all that. I just mean, for me, I find just the whole process does drain you a lot. The only reason I can continue, and many people tend to continue, is because we love this. We love this area with our heart and soul. And what wakes you up in the morning, the feeling, or the hope, the realization of that hope that you may be able to one day get to a point where you'll be entirely comfortable. You can help the people around you, your family, your friends. Give people who were in a similar situation to you an opportunity, regardless of background. Hustle, that's the most important thing. That's what keeps me going. And I hope if you're ever struggling, maybe you're not making money in a trade, or you're just having a real bad day, think about what motivated you to start this in the first place, and things will improve. Think about what woke you up in the morning, yesterday and today, and what will wake you up in the morning tomorrow. Yes. President of the United States. Alright. Let's have a look at chat real quick. Boston, US. I do day trading and swing trading. Yo, shout out to Boston in the US, man. Bro, you know what? I wanted to ask. How is... Oh, US market's just open right now. What's your favorite dish in Boston for food? I love asking about people's favorite food. I just watch those documentaries every once in a while. I think I saw someone was going to New York, getting all the pizza and all that. And I wondered, what about Boston? Boston. Whoa, Wayfair, down 13%. That spread is $11. What? Are you crazy? Oh, now $4. It is the first minute, so you never trade that. Wow, the whole market's going to react to this one. Alibaba, still lingering above that 302 to 304. Trying. Whoa. Normally, I'd go long on this kind of a move. Actually, I'm going to look again. McDonald's, 223. Whoa. That was some gap. It's going to fill, though. That's the thing. Yeah, this market is not going to hold up for now. Amatale02 says, we do appreciate your time, though. I appreciate you, man. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day in Boston. We're chilling. I'll fill out my Bloomberg terminal real quick on my other screen. The cleaner's supposed to come in about half an hour, and I got a meeting a little bit after that. Market's pulling back. 3,680 was res last time I checked. Yeah. Then we're going a little bit. We're going 3,500. My next forecast happens to be there. I don't think AO World can hold up. Rolls Royce, I'd like to short. Why is this squeezed so much, though? Bad timing of the day. The problem is, this close means gap up territory. I'd have to lower my size and hold this position for quite long. I don't think it's worth 8 billion. Not at all. Nah. In fact, I was considering shorting these guys. But 40% higher. Timing's important. Yep. Ronnie Chopra. Noted. 104 pence. Oh. Yeah, you guys. The scenes are hotting up. I am thinking this might actually be an interesting session. Well, more than it already has been. Rolls Royce at 106. I put my live prices up. You know what that means. Let me pull out the calculator. Normally I do that on the screen, but I'm using one already. 106.26. Wowza. Where's our last level of res? Let's just double check. Yeah, I'd probably up that. These aren't support points as exact. They are just ranges. So if I can see where the general range is, then I can trade it. The algos are assuming recession's over. These companies aren't fully out of it. So, jeez. I get excited when I see this much action. As usual, though, not nervous, not phased at all. I kind of want to go to the bathroom, though. I'm not gonna... Been holding it in and I'm drinking water. Yeah. You know what? I'll be back in a minute. Real quick. Peace. All right. Whoa, things are hotting up with Rolls Royce. I'm back. Sorry to have left you all. Hope everyone is taking a good break. If they've had a nice day of trades. If you haven't, well, it's only about to begin right now. Why is my pricing not live? Oh. It's because I have it open on my device. My bad. Let's refresh that. Because I've got super fast internet. What's going on? We should be at 107 on rolls. There we go. Wow, wow. This thing is not slowing down. And Alibaba shares are back down. AO's up though. What is going on? What is going on? We know 100 is generally where we're going to target if we're shorting. That's what we know easily from price action. So, if we're doing like 108, all that, first one, this may not happen, but once again, if we are doing 108, then we've only got 8 points. And the risk is a breakout all the way here. But if we are going for, you know, a little bit higher, say 120s or whatever, then we have a good 25 points up for grabs. AO World up to 350. Are we back on video? Okay. Wayfair 254. Phew, that is ugly. Oh, 3 black crows now. Right down to 200. Let's get Boba back up. Boba's at 299 from what I last checked. I got an alert that it's below 300 again. Whoa. Whoa. This is why you don't buy when the system tells you don't buy. Shame with those. 293. Yeah, they're going straight down. Straight down. 292. Get out. Get out. Come on. Get out. Get out of here. Keep going. We don't want you anymore, man. Leave. Jinko, relatively neutral. I think they're fairly priced. I think they're worth half, but at the moment they're fairly priced. 294 on Alibaba. Still not where I want them. So that just means we're waiting longer. We got less than 2 hours till close. Are we going to get that Rolls Royce target? Probably not. Means over the overnight sesh. Someone says, sue them because your toilet was leaking and, you know, you pay your rent. Sue the management. I'd short the management if I could. But look, I can't. They are publicly listed. But this is just one of their properties. Shorting that one means that I'm shorting the luxury ones as well. The ones that actually have good customer service is what it is. Well, you guys traded anything yourselves today? We got 10 people on the TradingView stream, and we got some folk on. Is the YouTube one still going on? I haven't looked at it. We've got
Your toilet was
2
leaking.
folk watching us. Let me see if that's up okay.
Your toilet was leaking.
For some reason I'm not getting the great quality on my other screen. Let's see.
For some reason I'm not getting the great quality on my.
Yeah, we're all good. Gonna get rid of that volume. We don't really need to play anything in the back. It's way too intense. Index is falling back a little bit. Interesting to see the reaction. AO World picks up gains, so we need indexes to continue rising for AO to be a bad situation. But generally, the trend is up for indexes, so by going long AO, we're expecting some form of risk event. Not a great situation. Carnival popping again. Wow. That is a... Okay, yeah, so this might do that situation of 120s on RR. Switching up pets. Zoom at 420. That really is... You should change that name from Zoom to Zoot. 420. Mad. Alright, well, AO at 352. RR 107.1. Yeah, RR is going to continue. CCL, US futures, US contracts. What am I saying? US shares being bought on the dual listing. The shares are above that res. Yeah, I think they're probably going to spike 20-30% above. I was out at 12.20, I think. So I didn't win. It would be a nice short if it did reverse from here. 40% in a day. It would be very, very smooth. Don't think there's enough time. I could be wrong. Needs to get back above 1276 within the next 5 minutes, I'd say. Yeah. Definitely not going down at the moment. Am I wrong? I could be wrong. 2% in on that for anyone moving. If it's below 1250, I would understand. I'm not getting my broker up on 2 platforms because I think the price data doesn't come right on this one if I do. We got live prices on TradingView and we got live prices on a live price platform which is elsewhere. 106.78 106.8 on Rolls Royce. Also shout out to a recent follower, Mitz Patel. Thank you for joining the followers list of Quantium Research. We appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the future. Alright. HelloFresh sinks. I thought the title of that was stinks. Pfizer soars after vaccine. Where's Johnson & Johnson? We'll switch out Ocado with J&J. These guys have said I'd go long 142 for my own portfolio. 147. Yeah, that's okay. Really not what I wanted. I wanted them to go 150s and beyond, but these guys are worth almost 400 billion. What do you expect? They're not a tech company. Do you want tech company returns? Buy the Nasdaq. 1270 almost. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to readjust my size for this volatility though, because this is, let me see, in terms of vol, where are we? Let's take an average. I could run this on my system, but I'll save myself the time. Yeah, it's double my normal vol. So whilst my risk margins would be a little bit over this situation, we would do, wow. So I'd need an equal RR. Let's check on the daily. The problem is this is going to be a bit too high considering the trend. I should really cut it off. Yeah, wow. So that's going to be an equal RR if we get the 120s. And that's even intraday. Need to be very, very careful with this one. Yeah, 20 points. 20 points. Wait, what was that? Times 1 point. Yeah, that's risking 550 on the trade, roughly. But the problem is, vaccine. Can't just be one day. Can't just be one day. Where's Bubba? Damn, man. The thing is, this is not over yet. It's not. It needs to break sub 291 for us to really say it's over. CCL's giving me a headache. NAX 207. Yeah. Normally I'll observe these for so many sessions before a slick little trade. I don't know if you guys saw the Rolls Royce trade we had. Easy money on that one. And that was a couple of sessions of observations before. Normally these hours are the prime ones. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything in us to trade those kind of shares. It's so weird how Rolls Royce has a market cap of roughly 8 billion. Where'd you get that from? You know what? In fact, we're going to put up some financials for Rolls Royce. Cleaner might come anytime soon. See how long we can get in there. Any short data available? Hit the old desk. Nope, not got any here. Float. Shares out on float. How much percent? Float shares outstanding. Must be a lot. It must have sold a fair bit. Ooh, Citrix receiver's been buggy for me. Check the owner. 1.2. Shares held, float held, changes in its. CCL. Is it gonna fail? No way. Let's go intra. Wow, they really can only hold above 1100, and it's still all right. Normally this is reversal territory. If I short, I'm getting 1167, and it'll be too late. 60 points for 60 points, and the probability is in the prevailing direction upwards, so we don't want that. We don't want that. It's chill. Doesn't matter if you think a share's going up or down. In this session alone, I probably made multiple different calls. I'm trying to get quality calls, not trying to get a win or a loss for the sake of a win or a loss. Let's have a look at where earnings estimates are going to be. Market cap right now is 6.7 billion according to Bloomberg. That has to be incorrect. Add 2 billion on top, let's just say. 8.7 billion. Income expected to be a 3 billion loss. 2021, they're expecting a flat year? Are you guys crazy? That's an aerospace division. No way. No way. What? 73 billion loss for Rolls-Royce next year. You do realize there's a month until, well, actually, when does their financial year begin? Carnival's already done half that move we were talking about, that's why, but it didn't make sense to have a trade there. Rolls-Royce doing 108. It's slowly creeping up. We might have to catch tomorrow's session, but the problem is early AM is very dangerous to be trading, so we're going to have wider stops. What are their costs on a guaranteed stop? Let's have a look, because that will save us from slippage. I think it's 0. In this market, no way it's 0.3. It's going to have to be 0.7, right? Oh, you crazy. Charge if your stop is triggered. Well, obviously, it's going to be triggered. Minimum stop distance, guaranteed stop distance, 7.5%. That's fine for us. Okay. I'm going to note them down then. And do some further due diligence, due diligina. or that'll be my evening task whilst I eat dinner. If we're not in them today, I'd rather get a more controlled short entry. Get a little 10-20%. Not much work. What's going on with everybody here? Whoa, where's that? My best guess, Dubai? With those. I could be wrong, but the building suggests. Stock-based composition. I'll follow that. Love a good podcast. Reverse DCF. Cheers, man. I'll have a look at that later. Value is value. Everything that's useful there. Daniel is a prize member of our community. If you shed something, that's worth checking out. Alright. Got way too many things open. I could still watch AOWorld's full year thing. I'm not going to get copyrighted. Yeah. Shout out to BR Media for recording it. I'll be back in a sec. How's this cleaner going to clean a place if I haven't fully moved everything? I need to take the printer out. At this rate. Yep. I'll do that. That was definitely leaking. Alright. I might not hear the cleaner coming, but I'm going to watch some of this. Because if I can get these guys, obviously I'm interested. I wouldn't want them at the 260s though. I'd rather them 3. But the problem is if I get them at 3, I've got easily 30% risk. But the potential reward's easily 100, 200%. Eh. Am I a man who likes to take risks? Yes. But not stupid ones. Especially on a company that I believe they need a little bit of cash. Alibaba 295. Carnival's done more than half that move. Yeah, we should have really got it on the test of 1280 the first time. Normally that's an easy trade. But this is a special day. Don't like to be involved. Yes. Pull up. Leave. All right. So, 1204 on Carnival on the ask. Jinko's positive for the day. Wayfair's getting battered. 249. Trent, not much of a winner there. Unless you're going straight to 200. Which could happen tomorrow. My thoughts are another rally in tomorrow's session because things are cooling off now. Retest of 3680 on the S&P 500. These are the ES minis, but they work out to be the same generally. FTSE 100, 6400 test. Is that fair to say? I think that's the next res. 109 spot 4. It's funny how Alibaba's down because China's markets were up. I just think they are waiting to fall off a cliff. Not forever, just until this regulatory drama's out of the way.
Morning, everyone, and welcome to the Q&A session.
Bro, can I lower your volume?
I'm Jeff Cooper, Chairman, and you also have on this call our CEO, John Roberts,
Let's
and
make
our
sure the audio is
CFO,
right.
Mark Higgins. I do hope you've all had the chance to digest the results presentation, which covered the key financial highlights, including strong revenue growth in the UK and adoption of a sustainable commercial policy in Germany, trends and work aimed at improving both cost and margin ratios.
Okay.
Importantly, increased EBITDA performances in the UK and Germany.
Who is this guy again?
Morning, everyone, and welcome to the Q&A session. Increased EBITDA performance.
They look like they love this stuff.
So, Andy's question.
Rolls-Royce 110.
Discuss investment in customer acquisition in half 2, noting a shifting to
I'll take
tactical,
113
social
with
and
2 points
influencers.
risk. Easy.
Could you give a bit more colour on the thinking behind that? How have metrics tracked customer acquisition cost ROI given the changes? And are you attracting different customers? And George has also asked customer-related question. Can you give any details on customer acquisition? Customer acquisition during Q4
Wait,
lockdown.
no, that's CCO.
Stores
NYC.
reopening. In fact, Georgie, you've asked another question about impact of sales trend after stores reopening in both the UK and Germany. Perhaps, John, we can pick that up as well. Over to you, John.
Yeah, okay. So to take Andy's first. So when I got back last year, I wasn't a believer in the TV campaign that we had. I didn't think it
You can't work for a business if you're not a believer in the campaign, let alone the TV campaign.
To stop our investment into TV advertising. That doesn't mean we'll never do TV advertising.
Hey, let's go. It's now on YouTube.
TV advertising, but much more functional TV advertising since. But our strategy then was to redeploy some of those funds into channels where we communicate more of what AO is about. And I go back to my first principles on that if I tell you I'm cool, by very definition, I'm not cool. And so when we think about repeat and recommendation business, I think social media channels have always worked extremely hard for us. And that had begun to drift. So we began to invest back into those social channels and into influencers to explode the truths of our business.
I think if AO went on TikTok.
Different customers, yes, we did, but we also attracted a lot of new customers as well.
I kind of want them retesting this
overall,
point.
in totality, that investment was a better return for us.
Similar with these guys.
In the overall reduction in spend in marketing.
I mean, this is aggressive.
But if you look at the way that was phased, it also takes a bit of time, where TV is much more of an instant steroidal
It's not giving up.
The social media piece and the
Oh, speaking of which,
influencers take
sizing.
time to build.
If I was gonna
But it was definitely one of those actions that
risk
helped
2
us
points,
to get back
2.5.
to our double-digit sales
There's gonna be a
growth.
potential
But
risk
it
of
was much more in the
suspension.
second half.
Added.
So if you think
Just
about
got
that
back
as
real quick.
total sales growth being, I think, about 9%. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think about 9%. The second half of the year was double digit, and the last quarter was circa 20% growth. So you could see that momentum build. So hopefully that answers Andy's question. So
No, that's
George's
far too much
question,
risk. What am I doing?
Why
am I taking this based off normal
the,
volatility?
the exact sales or customer
35.
volumes for Q1 for the
I need to get an
post-COVID
exact reference
but
point.
safe to say, in the UK and in
But
Germany,
this, I believe, is going to
if
break.
I gave
So
you
if
a
it
daily
does, I need
sales
to have
graph,
one
you
nearer.
wouldn't be able to tell me the day that stores open.
Oh,
And that's the same in the UK and
This
in
cleaner better come
Germany,
quickly.
and that still
especially
continues
if we
as well.
pay them, you know.
And we also expect
I'll offer
that to
a tea
keep
though, because it's a
continuing
hard
as
job.
well.
I've
Particularly
cleaned
with
myself.
announcements
That's
today on
actually I
face
clean
masks.
regularly. I work
You
at a
don't
restaurant
need
as well,
to wear a
so
face mask to
I don't want
shop
to
at
be
AO.
one of those people.
And so we
It's a
think
hard
that
job
will
to get rid of all this stuff as well.
to keep
I wonder,
migration
maybe I
and
should
structural
turn the
shifts
kettle
online
on
as well.
before.
Okay, Mark, anything to add, or are you fine on that?
I'm not upset at anyone other than the fact that
Okay.
this place is
John,
poorly managed
continuing the
to the point
theme
where
of
they leak.
COVID and the recent trading period and the kind of
What are they
trends
saying?
we've seen and the impact on the company. We've got a question here from Greg Lawless from SureCap. In terms of outlook, you've highlighted tailwinds and headwinds. Overall, for FY21, would you balance these as a draw or a home win, perhaps? I think that might be a clue to where we might be going in terms of helping people set expectations for FY21. What's your view?
Yeah, so I think
Interesting.
there's a ton of uncertainty. We're facing into the worst economic forecast for 100 years, but we've also
We'll use
got
that
huge
point
structural
as a
shift
reference.
online. We're less efficient in our operating costs of moving products around is
Fill in
less
this.
efficient, but we've
Same
mitigated
point
a lot of
104
that
spot
as well.
5. 16 points
Equally,
in
the
there.
roads are
Okay.
quieter, so we can get around the track on deliveries.
Yeah, then we're expecting a breakout tomorrow by the
quicker.
looks of this.
More customers are in, so that makes delivering to home easier. Equally, it means they buy less time slots because they're there all day.
That's going to have to be an intraday reversal. This is going to be a very intense session
is
tomorrow
all
if that's the
slightly
case.
different. The output
A
of
10
it
billion
all,
market
we
cap
believe we
to
will be a
Rolls-Royce.
net beneficiary,
You mad?
both from a sales and a
You're
profit
mad, bro.
perspective.
Are you mad?
Okay, good. Then a couple of questions digging inside the revenue trends we've seen. First one on B2B and the second one on AO Finance.
man.
So on B2B, Andy Wade from Jefferies has asked, you know B2B is a key driver
Alright,
of
I'm going
growth
to check
in
the chat. I
MBA
haven't looked
category
in a
FY20.
short while.
What percentage of revenue is it at the moment?
Appreciate you.
Given your
SNDL.
progress in
I'll have a
signing up
look
new
in a bit.
customers,
Right now we're a
house
little
builders,
bit
etc. How
occupied with
big
these
could it
guys.
get?
6.8 billion plus 2 is 8.8
or
billion.
more? Pick that one
8.8
up, John, and then
billion
I'll come on to
plus
the question about AO Finance after
roughly 10% tomorrow.
Yeah, so we don't release the percentage of revenue that it is, and
Whoa,
and
say that again.
And actually, the percentage of revenue is actually not really, I don't think, a great measure for it. I think it's more what share are we taking off that market, because we would expect to be growing all our new and emerging categories at a faster rate as well than we're growing MBA. So actually, I just don't think that's a great metric. I think but I think in answer to the question, I think it's a significant opportunity. And again, COVID has actually really helped us here. So we were making good progress, but it's not a sector that has had any disruption.
Oh. We might have to head off and return tomorrow for the session. It depends if this is who we're expecting. Don't tell me that, Evan.
And we went in with a sort of order week 1, get week 2,
Got a little
and we'll
cookie
tell you
there.
week 2 which day it's coming. And you've got to give us 4 weeks of forecast, and you can't change it 48 hours ahead.
Left that in the
because we
fridge
scheduled
too.
it in. And we went in with a completely pure AO proposition, which is, look, we don't need to know till lunchtime the day before, and we will deliver 7 days a week to any plot anywhere in the country the next day and deliver it and install it at the same price that you get the crap service that you've had for the last 20 years. So on the surface, that's a no-brainer, but there's got to be a reason to change as well. So it's just
They've only got
not
13% of the market share in the most dominant
that
market.
That was ready to change. What
That's one
happened
thing
in
that worries.
COVID was obviously some of the sites closed down and some of the sites didn't close down, but the supply lines into the house builders, a lot of those closed down, and we stayed firmly open. So we won lots of interest and understanding of the proposition through that period, which we expect to stick. So we're now approved for all major house builders.
Hey, what, 359? No way.
Onboarded about 10%.
Don't tell me this is going to recover.
Social housing stock across, I think it's 19 housing associations, which just keeps continuing. But it's important to know that that's where we're winning plots. And we're winning plots at a fantastic rate, but they get built over the next year or two. And so this is very much as putting fuel in the tank in that section of the business for the year or two or 3 or 5.
Okay, thanks, John. And then moving on to the AO finance area, a question from Simon Bowler from Numis. Can you provide any early stats on AO finance? Whereabouts is customer take up? Do you think this is supporting trading up and or customer retention?
Yeah, so I think it's improving all those metrics. So finance customers are fundamentally more valuable to us. They spend more and they repeat quicker and they cross-pollinate into other categories at a faster rate. So on every metric, they are more valuable as a customer to us. It's important to note that finance as a philosophical point for us, we view as a facilitation for the transaction rather than making money out of the finance. And so you'll see us increasingly drive things like buy now, pay later, interest-free credit offers, and you'll also see us invest margin in those to make those more pure than they would be traditionally, I think is the best way to put it. So for example, our buy now, pay later on a 12-month deal means that you can buy it now and pay it any time in the next 12 months. There's no penalties anywhere through that, and there's no loopholes, and that makes it slightly more expensive.
That was a nice cookie.
We think it's
way too hard
better customer proposition. In terms of take-up rate, we're at high single digits. I think it's fair to say, Mark, at the minute.
Yeah, they're up there.
Fair single digits.
Yeah, aspirationally, I think we can probably get to somewhere more like 15-20% of our mix, but we're still learning how to drive that engine at the minute.
And we obviously we implemented a new provider for credit in October last year, and as John said, we're still developing the offers.
113
and
rolls.
we do see that as an opportunity to grow going forward, and particularly key customers in the AO ecosystem where we're providing a line of revolving credit rather than specific.
Imagine one day you wake up, shares of Rolls Royce up 40%. 60%.
Okay, sticking with interrogation of the numbers we've reported, I'm going to turn to some questions from Matthew McEachran from N1 Singer. Question, I think, for you, Mark, which I'll come on to in a moment, which is about warranty cancellation trends. Matthew, I think we've already covered your question about headwinds, which
sorry about
John covered earlier when he was
They're
asked.
They're going to pop above a little bit, yep. 2 pennies above, 114.
And your third question, Matthew, on international expansion, I'm going to come to in a minute. But just sticking with your question about warranty cancellation trends.
Above 113 now,
the question is, can you elaborate
we'll
on
reevaluate tomorrow,
trends,
and I'll be happy with
and also on penetration and uptake on new orders we're receiving?
Yeah, sure. So I think, the answer on
115 is it right back now?
Or certainly on the cancellation is that we look at the cancellation rate as part of the valuation of
below 116 for today.
Over a period
we
of
might
time.
have some idea.
In short periods, we can get volatility both up and down. But over the
if it's above,
over the period that we look at,
not over yet.
That we've just done, we've seen no material change in our cancellation rates. We have before. for a number of years. We do constantly refine the value of the debtor, but
it's
we
not
see
over
no
yet.
particular change in cancellation rates either during the period or in fact post the period end, where we would look to include that in our valuation methodology. So nothing really on cancellation rates, and a similar story
Bloomberg,
really
help us out with this.
with
What's their
the
cash looking
uptake
like?
of plans that we've sold. We've obviously seen changes of mix through the period, and so that's
Good amount of cash.
whether that's across categories and particularly within categories.
Yeah,
Different
we wouldn't be
categories do
long-term
have
shorting them.
penetration rates of warranties.
Whoa,
And again, we haven't
116.
seen, anything outside of
116
our
on Rolls
normal,
Royce.
normal
You're mad.
expected tolerances on the conversion
You're
rates
mad, bro.
of warranties.
Okay, thanks.
This is
Mark.
why
I'm
I
going to switch
don't
subject now
short
and talk about
when
suppliers and margin.
I'm not confident about
Georgie from JP Morgan's asked a question, John, on your comments about.
So they're gonna spike now, hold above.
relationships with
You're not
suppliers,
telling me that
and how
that
that's
was
impacting
res
our-
hit there
our
120.
bringing up
This is what we
So,
wanted.
a
We
question.
might have to
In your
reevaluate.
presentation, you talked about a tipping point.
Ah,
regarding
they could
supplier
just go
support for
straight back
online
below.
retailers.
That's
Can you please talk
Yeah,
about how this comes
Kenneth,
through
uh,
margin,
Kenneth, and
credit
yours,
terms,
Kenneth.
etc.?
Yeah, I think that
116.
I think it's important from a
We
margin
would've missed it,
perspective
so that's
to
fine.
sort of dispel the rumor that just as you keep growing, you go back to the brands all the time and get more and more margin.
They're trying. Is it back
So,
sub
there might be
113? What's the
1 or
pressure looking like?
2% give or take here or there across the
114.
business that might be able to be improved.
Ooh.
But we
You
are
lot are playing this one.
meaningfully where I would expect us to be in terms of the trading margin of what we would
Wow.
expect to
This
get
is
from
aggressive.
other brands.
There's something driving this one.
But I think there's in the same way that 5 years of structural change.
They're gonna lose
for
money, but they apparently have
consumers
cash.
In terms of the shift online happened. You know, it was only in October last year when
Check with the drivers.
when I
Yeah.
was out on the world tour talking to manufacturers, and there was sort of the philosophization of, where can the market penetration in online get to over the next 5 to 10 years? And consensus seemed to be that it could get to at least 50%, maybe 60%. Well, I
The way
think
these
we've
guys
pretty
are
much
value-
cemented
the
60%
growth,
of the
they're
market
value, aren't they?
online now in a much shorter period of time. And so that's forced manufacturers to also think differently
Shane
about
hasn't come yet.
what that means for them in their
I
business.
got this
and
meeting
which
in a bit.
forces they are going to back.
I think
But I think that
we're not
comes
gonna
through on
over
various different
hype this
levels,
session.
on things like product availability,
we
range
could have had a couple
availability,
trades,
also things like trading range. So
but
there's
I think
lots of
trades on
self-help
my
we
own
can do
account
on margin.
are up.
We make
These ones would have been down.
a few hundred basis points of margin
So
better
we are
on
okay
the
not
trading
having
range
traded.
of directionally sold products than we do on the tail of most ranges.
Yeah, rolls at
And so
119.
there's a lot of
Ah,
self-help
that's
that
mad.
we can do across the margin mix. One of the most important things for us as a business when we think about margin is actually how we think about operational gearing. And that's a lot of the work that we've been doing this year of how do we build things and playbooks that repeat. So not rebuilding per category and per territory.
JP Morgan said
So
these shares are worth
build
30
tech
pence.
platforms
Who is
and
that?
let the tech take the strain, whether that's
30
chatbot,
pence.
whether that's machine
Shares were
learning,
85p
whether
then
that's
now.
AI,
Now you're only
whether that's directional
you're only
selling,
a thin
whether
bit
that's
off.
how we focus the product
Yeah,
teams
right, though,
rather than
167.
project teams. And the idea is that as we grow into bigger and bigger addressable markets, we sweat those
UW on our
investments
weakest balance sheet in the
rather
sector.
than,
Yeah.
keep rebuilding them every time.
They
And also then
are
from a
still in the
marketing
weakest
perspective, when we think
exposure.
about
Yeah.
margin, if you look at the UK versus the German investment into marketing,
I'd so like
the
to get a
reason
short
for
here, but
that is
that'd have to
because
be
of the UK
tomorrow.
has a lot
That'd
more
have to be on a
direct traffic,
break
it has bigger brand
below.
awareness, and it has
Yeah.
more repeat and recommendation business. And those
If I can
are
get a
much
break
cheaper sources of traffic.
below
And
113.
when you
Problem is,
go
it might
into
take
a
2
new
tries,
market
so
or a
I'm
new
gonna lose
category,
a couple
then we
times.
have to win more customers in there that over time the cost of those reduces.
We'll have
So
to
as
play
we
it
get
based
more
off the
mature in
situation.
market,
Price is up
we
right now, so I
grow,
can't
which
tell,
gives
but
us operational
once
gearing,
we can
get
establish a point,
better brand resonance, which reduces
so
our
we're looking
overall
at this
marketing
situation.
cost. And that better brand resonance also helps us to drive our directional sales.
So we're below, so
Directionally
breaking
sold
there.
products.
We'll have
So the various
Range.
different areas really start to compound to give us much better operational gearing, rather than the idea that
Very
we just
similar.
go and get another 5%
Weird,
of margin
because it
from
shouldn't be like
Samsung
that.
or Whirlpool or whoever it might be.
Okay, thanks, John. I'm
think
going to
tonight's
actually
gonna be a
stick
continued
now
rally
with
then.
the topic of international expansion, which relates to the answer you've just given as we scale the group. So I want to talk a bit about and ask
Net
questions
debt
on
falls to
Germany
5.5
and
billion
international
only because you
expansion.
got 2 billion cash.
First one, which covers the overall subject, is from Georgie from JP Morgan. She says you mentioned the potential to now grow quickly and easily to leverage the central infrastructure and expand further internationally.
Well,
what's the potential
we got a photo. I know what this is going to be. Someone's sending me a picture of Rolls Royce shares.
And then there's a couple of
Don't do this to me, man.
on
Please don't do this to me. I know I said.
To be
I know I
really
said.
clear, we've made huge progress in our European business, and you know, we are very much now with all our KPIs in the right place, and with the right direction of travel, behaving as one AO, and repeating those models. So really pleased with that. But we haven't spent over 100 million on our European education, and I don't joke about calling it education. It has been a hell of an education. But we're very clear now.
Seems like very humble guys.
Like going forward, and we haven't spent 100
They deserve
million
to be at the top of like a big company
business.
like that.
We've
This guy
spent
seems
100
genuine.
million to build ourselves a platform from which to grow, both in Germany and beyond. And that's something that
AO356.
to timescales on that. Safe to say
Don't know if
that
I'm
we
getting
want
that.
to go as fast as we sensibly
250s.
can afford to invest in those. And the
What's the market
model
saying?
going
Incredible daily rise on
forward
Rolls Royce,
is
up
very different
74%.
to how we went into Germany and how we went into the Netherlands
Are you
when we
crazy?
first did it. The model going forward is
Yeah,
very much to
I'll probably come
repeat
to an end of this.
and build
Let's
on the
see.
infrastructure that we've already created.
Appreciate the peeps
rather
coming
than
on
to
so
rebuild
far
it
onto the
everywhere we go.
stream.
So
We
a
have.
good way to think about that
Let me get rid
would
of IG
be,
here. Peeps
you know,
on
going from
YouTube
England
and
to Wales.
folks on
so
TradingView.
delivering from
Hope the
Crewe to
stream has
Cardiff,
been nice.
is
We're just
no
watching
great difference than delivering
an
from
earnings call review.
Bergheim through Munich into Vienna, let's say. And actually, rather
Let me
than
refresh
thinking
this. I
about
don't know
it
why
as
it's not working.
territory,
I have
we're
like two
looking
screens.
more at it as a logistical operation for a single landmass of Northern Europe. Of how would you go and target the major concentrations of population rather than a territory per se? And one of the lessons that we learned from Germany was that we went for full national coverage from day one. And clearly that was very expensive. Had we rolled that infrastructure out city by city, that would have been much better for us. And so we're building a model as we look forward that has that's a lot safer and has a much lower bar to profitability than when we did the German infrastructure.
This is. Yeah, imagine a leak from your bathroom into where you sleep.
Relative to the 100 million.
Where you look at your charts.
Mentioning lower barriers
It's a human rights
to
violation.
cost and success for future European launches.
Oh.
What level of reduction might be viable using
There's a
100
auction
million
for
as an
5
example?
minutes. This is
I guess
crazy.
your answer there is indicating that in fact it's difficult to be precise simply
Ryan
because we're
attempts
not
to
looking
trade the
at a country
vaccine. Yep,
by country
I'm buying the
basis at the
vaccine.
moment.
Anyone want to?
Yeah, but
Any
if you
takers?
wanted to go and take a city like Paris, you would
Welcome to the
probably
17
go and do
peeps
a city
tuning in
like
on
Paris, you break even
TradingView.
probably only about 10
We're
15 million a sale,
probably going to observe Rolls Royce.
and then you can build out
124,
then.
you crazy?
Think about how you might build
What?
out much more on a Ocado
This is
X
on
model if you think
fire.
about how Ocado does retail in the UK.
I would
where
take
they
140.
open
No,
postcodes
this
up
stock
as they
always
get
does this to
coverage.
me.
So I think that'll
gonna-
be much more how
gotta
we'll
get my
probably
point of
go around
interest.
it going forward.
Okay, thanks. Sticking with Germany,
all
question
right.
from Georgie.
If 140 comes,
Again, this
I think
relates
128
to
is res, but
suppliers and your
140 for some
relationships
reason
with
does.
suppliers, John.
We're going to have
How
to
far
have a very
behind
small
market
size.
leaders, e.g.
Our min
Media
default
Markt,
size.
do you think you are on bought-in margin in Germany?
Well, so I don't know the answer to that question, but I would guess we would be 3 to 5%
Cleaner.
margin behind them. But with but with an infinitely more efficient business model that should be more profitable than their model, even on the margin that we've got today.
Okay, thanks, John. Then I've got two remaining questions, and both relate to our future, our outlook for FY21. First one's on MPD.
Yeah, I'll take 140 if I could.
We're physically,
but I don't think that's going to happen. No way. 80% of the day.
Business we might see in FY21. So
Are
the
you
question
crazy?
on MPD comes from Simon Bowler at Numis. Can you provide an update on your plans for the mobile business and what we should expect
these days
to see
of just
across FY21?
intense,
John, I think
crazy
that's
moves.
for you.
Yes, so I think on FY21, you're not going to see any great transformational change. The direction of travel, we're still hugely excited about that business, but given what we've been through in the last 4 months, we've had to make some choices.
I don't like AO's tone. It's honest.
Our strategy for our mobile business is to re-platform it onto AO.com, integrate it into our finance offer to
these are
bring
just
much
popping
more
into clothes.
affordability and trading offering using our revolving credit facility. At the same time, we have to real-time integrate into all the networks with that finance offer around the
around the off my bed, man. What's going on here?
Accounts. And then we have to put in instant gratification in terms of fast same-day, in-day.
What if this is like a takeover?
So that's still our plan. That was our plan 6 months ago. And
It's
that is
far
still
too
our
leaky.
plan, but it's unlikely that we will have that done before peak trading this year, which means in reality it's going to roll into FY22 in terms of any major impact on the numbers.
Yeah, I'll be in that
thanks, John.
140.
And then the other question on physical scaling.
Spot 5 if I can take that.
The question, John. So this
3,000 size.
Bowler at
Series.
Numis. So his question is: Do you
2,142
have sufficient
shares.
warehouse capacity, or have you plans to take
Just
on
rounded
other
it.
facilities? And also on an out basis, you spoke to opening more in the period.
Let's get the 2 in.
Is there much more to be done here in the UK? And is there much more to be done in Germany?
So the margin on these guys,
So if you take the UK,
still 20%.
so we've got plenty of warehousing in Germany. That's not an issue at all. We have a shortage of warehousing in the UK as it's not actually warehousing per se completely that's the issue. It's also numbers of doors. Because we've got increased sales
A FTSE 100 company up this much.
working practices with less efficient
If we get
loading
that,
on trailers.
I'm gonna be
all
so
those
surprised.
things compound up that mean that you
Stop
create
guaranteed.
a lot of pressures on the doors of the warehouse as much as the physical storage
It's a loss.
space.
214.
So we have taken some
Nothing.
more warehousing
But it's
space
my
in the
day's
short
work.
term. And we probably will take a little bit more as well as we can get it. There is a shortage of warehousing as well in the UK. But in
I
terms
don't
of the
really like
plans
using
that
a
we've
guaranteed
got,
stock, but
we're
this
now
is
very comfortable
far
that
too
we're going to
dangerous.
be very well positioned for what we're forecasting for peak trading.
It is a
In
breakout,
terms of
an aggressive,
in terms of
aggressive
outbases,
breakout.
yes,
But you
we
always
will
need a
be
cooler.
further investing, and we plan to invest ahead of the curve
Our left as well.
on our outbase infrastructure. And we will soon be within a
Yeah.
45-minute drive of 85.
I don't think this is going to happen, but if it does, we're ready.
And
I think
that's
really
gonna
it's
be
at res
important
now.
because
But it's consolidating a little bit above.
to really impress all the new
If it holds
customers that are
128, we
coming
might.
to AO. And so there's a lot of constraints around physical delivery capacity in the market, and we're
It is
investing to
aggressively in
remove
the
those
breakout, though.
constraints. And we want to make
Fundamentally,
sure
though, it's
that our,
rubbish. Whoa, it might
next-day
actually happen.
delivery proposition is widely available, and customers
Yep.
are not having to wait.
Stock
4 or
must be at
5
least
delivery
10.52.
days for a delivery,
11.
or they're not
Are you happy now?
charged too much for
Give me that.
those early days of delivery. We also think
Take
as
that
we
all
go
again.
into peak trading and Black Friday, or November as it's been renamed,
What was
we will further see migration.
We should be out before
online,
close regardless.
as people will not want to go around crowded stores to buy all the products for gifting
is
for
very not
the
normal.
Christmas period. So we're forecasting that into our planning as well.
Just
to
double check.
make sure
Nothing
that
I'm
we
missing
really drive home
on the
our
old bulletin
scale
boards.
advantage, and
'Cause this is
and
far too
make sure
much.
that the right proposition is available for those customers as they first come into contact with AO. That further fuels the structure.
I kind of want to get rid of AO talk now.
that we can then build on next year as well.
Okay, thanks, John. We have no more questions. A bit
141.
disappointing we haven't had a deeply technical
146.
question on FRS
Yeah.
16 for Mark to answer and be put on the spot, but we don't. So those are the last questions. I'd like to thank everyone for joining the call. I know there's a lot of people on the
I didn't
call
really
who've
learn
not
anything different
posted
to what I
questions,
already
but I
know
hope
from
you've
this call.
got something
Beyond
useful
the
from
fact that I
Q&A
like
session we've
management,
just
like I
done.
did from the statements.
Also hope the presentation has been good for you and given
That's
you the
nice.
material you need. Thank you for coming on the call. Thank you, the management team, and goodbye.
Thank you.
See ya. Hasta la vista. It's always a little bit more painful when you're watching the live trades. I would show you guys, but it's better we keep our account open in case things change. You're telling me the chat's unavailable when I just want to find some info about what's going on. I do have Bloomberg, but sometimes they don't. They have to input the data generally, so I'd rather use it straight from the source. That's Banco Rolls, not Rolls Royce. Ooh, it's in a breakout, so Rolls Royce shares are rightly way above that point. Imagine if I short today. Well, I would have had a 2-point stop. A little bit of slippage, probably double that loss. Nicest turnout. We get 127. No, that's an easy one. Nicest one, because obviously 127's there. We take retest 113. There's an hour. I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't actually see why the shares are up here. Everything is overbought. But like, what even does overbought mean in this world? We could lose. It's fine. Shame the gyms are closed though, because I kind of want to start building myself. Got an order low at 140. Will it? Not sure. Stop loss at 151. Trying. So, but wanna be out by close. What day is it today? 9th. Special. That's it. You always got to do that. This is a 5-minute auction. I can understand, but who's buying? Shorts are getting squeezed. I say that, getting ready to go short. Gee, I'm already giving up 0.3%, which is £9. No big deal. This clean hasn't come though. That guy's on the meeting are alright. For half an hour. That means I'm alright. The order's in. It can get spiked. Very bad time to have an order in. Yeesh. No way. This just does any more than that. Still on my live prices. Nothing's changed. It's still an auction. Yeah, 98 versus 144. I kind of want to eat something, but this is far too intense to mess up. It's not a huge trade, but it's money, and it's a video. Speaking of which, why am I not recording this? Alright, boom. So, we are, let me just take this over to this side, stalking a trade on Rolls Royce. Actually, Let me redo that. So we are stalking a trade on Rolls-Royce. I'm just going to move this over to that side. And we'll give you an update on how things turn out. We might not get this trade. This might not be a video. If it is, that's because we got it at 140.2. That's our order. It's an auction right now. The shares are up almost 100% for the day. This is Rolls-Royce. This is not your average small cap. This is a large cap by most means of classification. We have a stop in at 151 if we're holding that, but we'd like to be out by end of day, so generally it'll just be a scalp. Not sure what's going on, but we will update you as things progress shortly. Yeah, 135. Come on, man. 140. 140. Come on. No, it's stuck. 131. Don't do this, man. All these 200-day moving average algos are going long. If it goes anywhere below 128, I'm closing my order. Oh. Double check, double check, double check. Nah, don't tell me. You need one retest. Don't go below 128. That's all I ask. Double check. Yeah, we'll give a penny either side. 127. 126. Let's see. It's going to 122 by the looks. That's going to be some crazy price action there. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get that trade. So that video will... It could have been a video. But I want to create content that's enjoyable for you guys. And that... Oh, we're going to get it? Nope, we're not. That's not enjoyable. Or at least for me, as a simple mind, it isn't enjoyable. That's healthy for a breakout. It was lingering. This is what a vaccine does to your body. Just makes you go insane. Alright. Oh. Wow. So I was 4 points off. 3 points off. Gonna get rid of that order for now. We'll think about it later. Oh, actually, where is this cleaner? Real quick. I was hoping for 140. Too short. Too. Order didn't fill. Shares hit 137 or so highs. Bad timing on my part. Yep, here's what it is. Well, we just gave up 16 points. This happens sometimes. In case you haven't traded much yourself, this does happen. Whew. Yeah. Sorry for not making it that exciting. There's a fair amount of people tuning in though. Nice to see all of you. I gotta head off to this meeting, so I think that'll be me done for the day. Shame, because now I might need to order food. That's Kendrick. What's everything looking like? Alibaba frustrating us again. Carnival testing that res. Pearson, wow, things have changed for those guys. Good old wisdom. Dear quality, dear. I don't know why I still have that there. I might just keep it for the lols. What's going on there? Why do we have a... There we go. They're straight to 100, I reckon. This is when the crowd forgets. Timing is quite difficult with these ones. Get the position. Let me see how these folk are doing. Alright, well, this has been another stream with me, Ryan Kia of quantiumresearch.co.uk. This is far too unhealthy for me to be involved in this particular moment. Not the stock, but Rolls-Royce at 121 isn't giving us anything special. AO at 360, not interested right now. I don't know what's going to happen with the markets at the moment, to be honest. Well, I do know with the markets, just with relation to these guys, not sure. I have a rough idea that we're going to flag and break out to 6,400 probably. Options aren't well priced for me to be interested. Rolls-Royce can easily just go and do 113. That would have been a monster trade for us. We were risking 230, 10 points. We would have made 27 points, £500. Would have been a nice takeout. Definitely a chocolate bar from the fridge, maybe a cookie. I've got a cookie there. But I'm going to go make lunch, prepare myself, and catch you all soon. Thank you for coming on down. This has been a interesting day. We didn't get any trades, but once again, every trading session won't be a trading session if you get my drift. You don't always make money. Sometimes you're just observing. Like today, we were observing for setup. That trade would have taken 5 minutes if it went. If you know these same price targets, assume our price target hit and we were in now, say, that would have taken 5 minutes. That would have been a week's worth of work. And we would probably go for 2 or 3 of these quality trades every 2 weeks or so. That's just on average. And that's what makes the money, because the small losses, the big winners when the thing changes, boom, you're winning. Just like with Cineworld, you gotta catch big winners. You can't just be right all the time. We prefer to be right near 50% of the time, but our timing is a little bit more favorable. So you can make some money ultimately, which is your end goal. So, to sign out, I've been Ryan Kia of quantiumresearch.co.uk, and actually now Quantium Research Limited, because if you Google my name, Ryan Kia, the full name, or type down Quantium Research Limited, you will see us. We are registered. We have our offices, everything like that. And yeah, trading has begun in all regards, the 10K PF and the biz. So, I am signing off. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. Alibaba's below 300, so we can sleep a little bit better tonight, hopefully, assuming they don't get back above 3 or 4. AO's at 350. These are starting off a little bit into the end of the day. Yeah. I want them at either the 250s or 300. It's weird though, that earnings call was nothing special. Nothing at all. And the current situation isn't exactly favourable. But they are going to have a revenue beat, by my estimation. So, we are interested. But we shall go make some food. I'll catch you in a bit. I always sign the podcast off in a certain way. I always say, until next time. so I'll catch you.